God had been silent for over 400 years. We knew because we had been listening in a sense. My job was to listen. People who talk a lot, you don't call them wise, do you? No. There are a lot of other names that we have for them, and wise is not one of them. You see, in my position, I look for signs everywhere. We watch the stars. We watch them and try to interpret what they were telling us. I read of a star that would announce a new king. And then out of nowhere, a star appeared. This star was different. It was a beacon in the night. After watching it for a while, I felt this was a star the Jews had been looking for. The star foretold in their ancient scripture, the star of the Messiah. So I followed it. And there were a few of us, and yes, we actually followed that star. It was so bizarre. You know, this star led us, it moved, and we followed, and eventually it led us to Jerusalem. That's where we met her. You know, he claimed he also wanted to worship the Messiah. So he asked us. No, he demanded that once we found the newborn, we come back and tell him. But we were warned in a dream not to trust this man. For over 2 years, we journeyed with the star, guiding us all the way to Judea. And then it stopped. Shining down over a small cottage, our journey ended not at a palace fit for a king, but at the home of a peasant. Our journey ended not at a palace, but at a small cottage. This was it. But we gathered our thoughts, our gifts, and did what we could to contain our emotions. And behind those doors, we found a new king. A king who commands the movement of the stars in the sky, and yet came to live among his people. God was finished being silent. He spoke, and his word became flesh and dwelled with his people. We knelt down that night. Yes, we kneeled before the baby boy. And each of us laid gifts at his feet. We had to. We had to. You see, because 400 years of silence broken by the cries of a new king. Yes, he spoke.